Hello everyone and welcome to our channel. Today we'll tell you all about the mighty U.S. Navy's $8.5 billion Nimitz-class aircraft carrier, which is a symbol of American strength and power projection abroad. So without further ado, let's get started. The Nimitz-class supercarriers are longer than 3 football fields, measuring 1,092 feet in length. These ships are also like mobile cities because they have crews of 3,200 sailors and 2,480 airmen. Admiral Chester Nimitz led the U.S. Navy during the Second World War and was honored by having the class flagship, the United States ship Nimitz, named after him. It was given the nickname Old Salt and went into service in May 1975. The ship was first sent to the Indian Ocean to help with the Iran hostage crisis. It's been on an endless number of trips since then, including helping to protect the 1988 Olympics in Seoul and then working in the Persian Gulf after Operation Desert Storm was over. Last time the U.S. Navy ship Nimitz was sent out, it was to fight the Islamic State of Iraq in Syria. In 2017, her F/A-18s took part in the Battle of Afar. 10 carriers in the Nimitz class have been built so far. The 10th and last carrier, the U.S. Navy's George H.W. Bush, was taken into service in January 2009. The largest warship in the world until the U.S. Navy's Gerald R. Ford, the lead ship of her class of carriers, went into service in 2017. These nuclear-powered carriers have 2 reactors and 4 propeller shafts that can reach a top speed of more than 30 knots or 34.5 miles per hour. Instead of gas turbines or diesel-electric systems, which are used on many modern battleships, the carriers use pressurized water reactors of the A4W type to move forward. The reactors drive 4 rotor shafts and can reach a top speed of more than 30 knots and a maximum power of about 260,000 shaft horsepower. Due to nuclear power, the ships can run for more than 20 years without needing to be refueled. They're expected to have a service life of more than 50 years with just 1 refueling in the middle of their life. These warships, which can carry up to 102,000 tons each, were all built in Virginia by Huntington Ingalls Industries Newport News Shipbuilding, which is now called Northrop Grumman Ship Systems. Each one cost about $8.5 billion to build. About 60 different kinds of fixed-wing and rotary-wing aircraft make up each carrier. As many as 90 different types of aircraft are on board. There are many kinds of planes that you can see on a Nimitz-class ship. These include 12 F/A-18EF Hornets, 36 F/A-18 Hornets, 4 E-2C Hawkeyes, 4 EA-6B Prowlers, and fixed-wing and helicopters such as 4 SH-60F and 2 HH-68 Seahawks. In addition, the ships could send out the S-3B Viking, which was meant to replace the F/A-18EF Super Hornet, which was being phased out slowly. There are 4 lifts, 4 steam-powered catapults, and 4 arrestor lines on the flight deck, which is 1,092 feet long and 252 feet wide. This means that each carrier can send 1 air at a time, every 20 seconds. The carrier's air wings are changed depending on the tasks they're sent on. For example, 50 Army helicopters were put in place of the normal air wings on the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower in 1994 so that actions could be carried out in Nicaragua. Concerns might be raised about the situation when a carrier is used for disaster relief and humanitarian aid. The carriers have a well-designed flight deck and are full of aircraft facilities. Launching and landing planes at the same time is possible because the flight deck is tilted 9 degrees, which lets this happen. Because of the new design, which makes the flow of air around the carrier better, this slope of the flight deck is a little less steep than on older carriers. 4 steam catapults are used to launch fixed-wing aircraft, and 4 arrestor wires are used to bring the aircraft back to the ground. Ronald Reagan and George H.W. Bush are the 2 newest aircraft carriers. Each has only 3 arrestor lines. This is because the 4th wire wasn't used very often on older ships, so it was thought to be unnecessary. In smaller aircraft carriers, the STOVL configuration is usually more basic and doesn't include catapults or arrestor cables. This catobar design, on the other hand, makes launch and recovery faster and lets a lot more types of planes go on board. The airplane activities on the ship are run by the air boss from Primary Flight Control, also called PriFly. 4 huge lifts connect the flight deck to the hangars below where the planes are stored. Thick steel doors split these hangars into 3 bays. These doors are meant to keep fires from spreading from one bay to the next. The Nimitz-class aircraft carriers were ordered to support the Kitty Hawk and Enterprise classes of aircraft carriers. This would make sure that the U.S. Navy would still be strong and capable when older ships were taken out of service. The ships were meant to be better than U.S. aircraft carriers that came before, especially the Enterprise and Forrestal-class supercarriers. They're similar to the Kitty Hawk class in terms of how they're laid out. There's less room for the 8 reactors on Enterprise than for the 2 reactors on Nimitz-class ships. Nimitz-class carriers can take 90% more fuel for aeroplanes and 50% more weapons than Forrestal-class carriers. They also have better designs overall. The U.S. Navy says that the carriers can handle 3 times as much damage as the Essex class could take from Japanese air raids in World War II. Fire doors made of thick steel separate the ship's hangars into 3 fire rooms. This keeps the fire from spreading. Since the USS Carl Vinson, ships that can fight submarines have been built. At first, they were mostly called attack carriers. Because of this, the ships and their planes can do many things, like blockades at sea and in the air, setting mines and firing missiles at targets on land, in the air, and at sea. Because of a flaw in the way they're built, ships in this class naturally lean to the starboard when their battle loads are higher than what their list control systems can handle. It looks like this problem happens more often on some of the newer ships. Damage control gaps have been used as ballast to solve this problem in the past, but now a solution based on solid ballast that doesn't put the ship's safety at risk has been put forward. These aircraft carriers have been used for political and symbolic purposes. The U.S. Navy's largest warships are aircraft carriers. When they're deployed, they can serve a symbolic purpose, both as a warning to an enemy and as a bargaining chip to improve relations with friends and possible allies. As part of an international task force or on their own, the second of these duties can take place in a country where senior Navy officers can watch the carrier in action and talk to its senior officers. This can happen in battle, like when NATO bombed Yugoslavia in 1999, or while on a training mission, like during Exercise REMPAC. Also, carriers have helped with international efforts to keep the seas safe from pirates in the Persian Gulf and off the coast of Somalia. Nimitz-class carriers were meant to last for 50 years when they were first built. When a ship's useful life is up, it'll be taken out of service. This process will start on Nimitz and will cost around $750 million to $900 million. A ship with regular engines, on the other hand, is projected to cost $53 million. The main reason for the price difference is that nuclear power plants have been turned off and radioactive materials and other dangerous tools have been safely taken away. The Gerald R. Ford class of carriers is being built to replace ships that are being taken out of service. Most of the modern carriers that are still in service will be used to replace the older Nimitz ships as they get close to the end of their useful lives. The last Nimitz-class carrier has been launched, and the Gerald R. Ford class will finally replace it. However, these 10 carriers will definitely continue to scare away possible U.S. rivals for many years to come. That's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like and comment down your thoughts on this, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.